udah. 네, 감사합니다. 선생님, 아까 그 배웠어요.
Please be seated. So this is a joyous moment to all of us today, this morning, because we have a beautiful soul and a brilliant person coming from all the way from United States of America to speak with you and among us. And then we have a lot more to learn from him because he's a really genius person. And we had never expected that in our regions that we like to have this kind of persons amidst us. But then everything had happened possible, so in our presence today is already been here. So now without any much delay, so I would like to welcome our invited guest all the way from the United States of America, and then to felicitate to him, I would like to request our Director of Education's BTI to felicitate him the moment I read out his name with Aronai and then one bouquet. So he's none other than a genius person, Professor Soborno Isaac Bari. Please introduce yourself. Yeah. Thank you so much. Please be seated. Again, we have one more guest among us. He is none other than our Honorable EM, Mr. Wilson Hasta. I would like to request him to introduce among us, and then to felicitate him, I would like to request our Suparna Bora to felicitate with an Aronai and a bouquet. Thank you so much, sir. So let me have a few seconds to introduce in brief who is Professor Soborno Isaac Bari. Professor Soborno Isaac Bari is an 11-year-old who is at the moment 12th graded student at Melbourne High School, a visiting undergraduate student at Brooklyn College, a visiting graduate student at Stony Brook University, and a visiting graduate student and CMT scholar at New York University. He is an honorary professor laureate at the Vinci Institute, a PhD granting institution in South Africa. He published 2 books, the name of the book, first one is The Laugh, 2019, and Manitz, 2023. He has delivered physics lectures at many universities around the world, including Mumbai University 2020 and Zen University 2023. He has also given book talks at various institutions, including the University of Pune 2020 and the Da Vinci Institute 2021. He has also received recognitions from President Obama 2016, Nobel laureate Kailash Satyarthi 2020, and IIT Jodhpur 2023 for being able to solve PhD level maths and physics problems. These are the short bio about him, but at last but not least, he has a big dream and determined dream that one day, 24 years down the line from today, he will definitely run for American president in 2048. That is what, since he is a genius mathematician, I have calculated from today, 24 years down the line, he will be approximately 25 years old, because today he is 11 years, and then 24 years, when we add, it becomes approximately 35 years. So we expect one day, Professor Isaac will definitely be an American president. Having said that, I would like to conclude the brief introductions about him. So now I would like to request our OSD, Honorable Chief of BTR, Mr. Okay, so I would like to request now our respected Secretary of Education of BTR to felicitate the father of Professor Isaac with a bouquet. Is he here? Professor Isaac. Yeah? Quite handsome. Father also quite handsome, right? Like father and son. Yeah? How many of you like to be him? Can you raise your hand? Wow. So great. Please be seated. So now we would like to have a state anthem. So I would like to request all of you to stand up and then have a respect to our state anthem.
I am so excited to be here and to be able to inspire you all. So, of course, me talking to you is more important than me talking to college students, university students, people who are 30 or 40 or even older than that. Because you are going to make the change in a few years. There is still time. There is time for your mind to grow and to adapt and for you to change your interests in your mind. So this is the most important point in your life. This is the part of your life that will determine how everything else plays out. So I hope that you will make the correct choices during this time and that you will be able to do great things in the future. I'm here today to inspire you and to make it again and to make an appeal for math and science. So I have seen that not many people are interested in math and science around the world. I'm sure that there are more people in India that are interested in math and science, given its rigorous curriculum. But still, I feel that we need some more inspiration in terms of these academic subjects. So, math and science is a beautiful thing. You don't have to memorize it. You don't have to memorize formulas and equations or molecule naming methods. I mean, I've looked at some of the common standardized exams given for math and science, and they rely a lot on memorization, which is something that I think I want to prevent. Memorization of these principles, when in reality, when you're actually going to be working in these fields, in maths, physics, and chemistry, you're going to be given reference tables, you're going to be able to search up these things. You're not actually given the tools to creatively, you're not given the chance to creatively think, and because those are the problems you're actually going to have to solve, the creative problems. A lot of these problems that you see on standardized tests, they are just problems of calculation. But really, those problems are long outdated. The computers can do everything for us now. But the real problems that you'll have to solve are the creative ones. And those are the ones that we have to train for, but those are the ones we're the most lacking in. So these creative problems are what enable us to develop our technology. They are what enabled India to send a rover into Mars orbit on their first attempt and have it work, the Mars orbit mission. And it was also what enabled India to send a rover to the dark side of the moon. So, if we want India to keep technologically advancing the way it has been, we need great minds like yours in order to advance India's math and science industry. Math and science is going to change dramatically in the next few years, especially because of the advancement in computing technology, which will allow us to do calculations much faster. Now is not the time anymore to memorize formulas and equations. Now is the time to start actually thinking creatively. Some of the best ways to do this is to, for example, learn computer science. In terms of computer science, there's not many formulas or equations you have to memorize. There are just a few blocks of code, and you have to solve the creative problem of putting them in the correct order in order for the program to execute what you want it to. So, you all will be leading India's math and science industry of tomorrow. So I want to give you the inspiration that you need to lead it properly. There were many great scientists before you and I hope that you will be one of the next ones. Let's say the next Aryabhata, I hope I pronounced that correctly, the next Brahmagupta, or the next Ramanuja. So you all, I'm sure, have many different interests, whether it be literature, art, or history, but at least give math and science one try. If every single person in India made at least one small contribution to math, we'd be far more advanced technologically than we are today. And right now, math is still in its infancy. Even though math has been developing rapidly for the past few decades, it's still in its early stages, and it will be for a long time after this. So now is your time to make your mark, to have an equation named after you, like my brother. So now is your time to leave behind something in math and science that everyone else will use for the benefit of the world. So make that change. That's my appeal to math and science, and I hope that has inspired at least one of you in this auditorium to change your mind about math. If you view it as something hard, something strict, something that can't be viewed from a different perspective, change that outlook. Because math can be done in only one way. There's only one correct answer in math, but there's more than one way to get to it. So look from every angle when it comes to math. In terms of science, remember that math always applies to science in one way or another. If you're a fan of math and not of science, remember that science can always be approached by focusing on math. They're two very intimately connected fields, and both of them are intimately connected to the world that we live in today. So this microphone and these speakers were created by the geniuses who were inspired, who had creative intellect, and who knew math and science well. The engineering methods for the cameras and phones that everyone's holding right now to take pictures of me, those were also engineered by scientists with great creative intellect. So hopefully one day in the future, we're going to see all of these technologies, and I'm going to point to one of them and ask who invented this, and it's going to be one of you in this auditorium. So that's all for me, and I hope that that's inspired you to go learn math and science in order to advance the technological state of the world.
Thank you, Professor Bari. So now I would like to request our respected Principal Secretary of BTC government to come up the stage and to have a short speech. And then before the speech, I would like to request our Nirudful to felicitate Sir with an honor. Please come on the stage, sir. So since we have a huge students here today, so it is your point, it is a time for you to know who is Principal Secretary of BTR government. So, sir is the Principal Secretary of BTR government. Yeah?
Professor Soborno is not Bari, the youngest professor, the child prodigy. Well, he might be a child by looking his appearance, but he is giant in terms of his knowledge. Shri Wilson Hasdaji, Honorable Executive Member, BTC, my fellow colleagues, all the dignitaries present here today, and the students. We just heard the prolific discourse on the importance of science and maths. That's what I am also feeling here, because I am working here for the last many years, that in this part of the country, especially in Northeast India, the emphasis on maths and science should be much more, because there's a lot more opportunity, a lot more things to do, and we can be creative in maths and science as well, as what he has emphasized. Well, I will not say much. We are trying to focus through Council's efforts. Honorable Executive Member is also concerned through various training programs. Through education departments, we are taking a lot of efforts to emphasize science and maths. We are going to have 10 science labs all across the BTR in 10 selected schools, space labs rather, which we call, to arouse the interest in space and the planetary science and what we call astronomy. Unfortunately, we are very much interested in astrology, but we are not much concerned about astronomy here. So, well, that might be the thing, because astrology we find very interesting and so on, so we give a lot of interest to that. But astronomy is a field which is, is a field of science, which we need to also look into. And as Professor Soborno has already told, that all the equipments which we are using right now are somehow were created by the knowledge of science. And obviously, as he told, that through mathematics we can only approach the science. I'll say that mathematics is the language of science, especially physics. If you want to have physics, the language which you need to know is the maths. Without this, you cannot do it. So, I see a lot of talent here, a lot of potential here. I have been also involved personally in promoting science through teaching, through various interventions. So I also appeal to all young minds here present today that don't fear of these subjects, especially mathematics.